All right, y'all. How you guys doing? I'm gonna move some furniture here. So, how's your Monday going? Lots of big news out there. I don't know if you guys heard about the big CME and flare coming off the sun, but if you haven't, you got to go over to Wages World. Check it out. Tell them Rip Curl sent you and the Rip Curl crew, and give it a look. It's gonna hit in the next few days. Not going to be anything major that you need to go in your bunker for, but it wouldn't hurt to be aware and be ready for it, maybe even prepared. Isn't that kind of what we talk about? Yep. So that being said, the other day, a few days ago actually, John was talking about the likelihood of a nuclear event and whether or not that would be something that legitimately could or would happen with our Asian adversaries overseas or any of our other adversaries that might be thinking that we're looking a little disorganized and weak at this moment, which we are. I agreed with a lot with what he said, but I had one little caveat in there, and that is, and I'm not sure what a caveat is, so put that in the comments below. But I do have one, and what it is the fact that if you're following the news and whatnot, of course, here, it probably is a few weeks ago, but it comes up every once in a while that we have not only ourselves but our adversaries and our allies have been basically building and arming hypersonic missiles. Well, that being the case, these hypersonic missiles can actually be loaded with something called a low yield tactical nuclear boomba. So, that being said, that changes things a little bit. Yes, do I agree that we're not going to go the whole intercontinental ballistic boombas and basically write the final chapter of all of our existence? No, I think that was something that was used back in the 90s and even before that as a deterrent to keep the bad guys away and the bad guys to keep us away. It was kind of, what was that? Mutually assured destruction? Yeah, so that I can't see them doing. At least not unless it's a last resort. But they have been building up a whole bunch of those low yield tactical nuclear missiles into hypersonic bodies. Now, those can also be armed with conventional boombas, that's a fact, but I think they wouldn't build those things unless they're a possibility they may use them. And the way that they work is to basically act as a really big boomba that gets the point across, but doesn't irradiate the entire countryside or start a world extinction event. So, could they use those? Yeah. Would they use those? Gosh, I hope not. Is it a strong possibility? Well, they wouldn't be putting them on our ships right now if it wasn't. Now, the thing about these hypersonics are that they take 5, maybe 10 minutes to reach their location. Maybe even faster if they're coming from something that's parked off your shore that travels around under the water, is usually painted yellow and filled with a bunch of beetles. So those could probably be here in a couple minutes. Well, that doesn't give our command structure a whole lot of time to make decisions, to even respond back. So I think it's really important that we prepare for that and make sure that we are doing everything we can to help get through that. Because now the upside to that, if there is any upside to hypersonic nuclear boombas, that would be that they don't wipe out 50, 100 miles, and they're not coming in a big, huge barrage that's going to basically scour the planet. So we can prepare for those and actually take some precautions that would keep us from getting to be a victim, I guess would be the best way to say it, or a casualty. So I was going to go over some of the things that I've prepared, at least in our family, for an event like that, or even a event of the big kind, or a chemical event, a biological event, which we have going on now, but I wouldn't use these for that. And, well, of course, the nuclear event. So that being said, I want to go over these kits that I've made. I call them my NBC kits. That just means nuclear and biological chemical kits. Yeah, I put them in cool little glowing green bins so that I knew where they were, just in case, because then you only have minutes. Well, you got to get on it. So I put them in these kits. I labeled them with each one of my family members, and I hope to God that I just wasted this money and never have to use it. But I'm going to share it with you guys. What we got in these kits here, and this is all about levels of exposure, or what's being used of those three things. Everybody, you can get these at your Home Depot, Lowe's, any hardware store like that. These are, you want to look for the ones that are the hazmat for lead and asbestos abatement. Those are the good ones. It's a full hooded suit with feeties in there. These aren't that expensive, probably about 17 bucks. This will keep particles and so forth, because that's what's really dangerous about this is, of course, the fallout that may come from an event like that. Or some chemicals are something that you could actually get through just fine as long as it doesn't get in you or on you. So something like this, depending on what it is, and that's something you'll want to research a little bit, because I'm not a doctor and I am not a nuclear physicist, so please do your research. But I'm going to tell you what I did. So I've got these, and then I got these, and you'll say, oh, N95 masks, those don't do anything. COVID goes right through those, just like my chili on a Friday. Well, yes, but that's not what these are. These are P100s. Now, if you have a store that's got these out there, that's what you want to look for, is a P100 or a respirator that have P100 filters that screw into them. What you can see is the difference is the material's different, it's thicker, and it has a gasket and a better valve. That gets a better fit to your face. Now, that doesn't take care of your eyes, so you're going to want to get a pair of sealed goggles as well to go with your kits here. Ours are in a different kit, so I don't have them in here right now, but we do have those that seal against your face. But depending on what it is that's happened, you might not want to just have a mask and goggles. So another thing we have in here, of course, if we step up to the next level, we've got these. Now, places like Sportsman's Guide, your Army surplus stores and whatnot, you can find these in new condition. And these are a lightweight rubber impregnated canvas, so on the outside they're kind of a rubbery feel, and the inside they're kind of a fabric feel. These are full suits with gloves, foot, hoodies, everything. You put these on, whip it out of its bag, put it on, and you can decide whether you want to use a mask and goggles or the next step. But these will get you through, say, a higher level of chemical or biological attack, and keep it off of you, because that's what's really important. Now, there is another level as far as protection from getting it on you. These are brand new. These right here were German, I believe, and these were brand new U.S. surplus heavy rubber. These have, I'll show you, I mean, thick rubber gloves. These go over the others. Thick over boots, so you keep your clothes on, and a thick It feels like a canvas on the outside, but it's totally sealed rubber inliner. It's got many layers in it, and it's a big old suit that you throw on over what you're wearing in a real quick hurry. That is in the event of your, say, we get an alert and it says, oh my goodness, they've released something that turns you purple and makes you want to get it with the dog. That's something I want to avoid. So that being said, I'm going to go for the big coverage. I'm going to put these on. But now you guys are saying, what about getting it in you? Well, that's a good point. My kit has a gas mask, and you can get these at most of your surplus stores. Find them online, Sportsman's Guide, that kind of thing. Army Navy stores. This is an Israeli, brand new gas mask. It's rubber. That's one thing you'll want to know, but these really have a good seal against your face. That's why I like these, or the newest generation of the US ones. Those are great too. I believe they're called M95s or something like that, but any of those will work. Any of your NATO newer masks will be adequate. I mean, as adequate as you're going to get. And you can get, usually they'll either come with a case like this. These came with used but almost new condition cases. They weren't very expensive. They're probably $60, $70. Now they might be a little bit more. If you buy them in a quantity, they're probably a little bit less. Since I bought 7 of them, I got them for about 55, 60 bucks, maybe 50, if I remember right. It was a while ago. I put these together a long time ago. But it keeps it in these nice little kits. Now, one thing to have in that, now this will keep it, it seals up totally. You want to make sure to fit these, pre-fit these. Don't just buy them and throw them in the kit. Pre-fit them, put them back in their cases so that they fit tight against your face. That's really important, fitment. Now, what I put in a little side pocket here, because I think it was meant for the filter, but there's no way it fits. So, what I've got is potassium iodine pills. You can get these at your Army Navy store. You can get these online, Sportsman's Guide again, any places like that. Shop around, find the best deals on all this stuff. And these right here are something you want to take, that if you have been told on the emergency alert that there's some sort of nuclear event, then you want to take these, because it helps, if I understood it right, it kind of like helps bind and get the radioactivity out of your body through your urine, as well as it protects, what the biggest threat is, it protects your thyroid gland. So it's about all you can do, and something that you just take to help you out. This is what they would give the soldiers and stuff that have been exposed, etc. So, I mean, I'm sure they have other high-tech stuff too, but we don't get those toys. So other than that, I have what did I do with it? Oh, so this right here, this is a electrolyte drops. Now I have them in this drop form, I have them in a pill form, and I have them in a gel form that you guys have seen on other videos. But this, I saw this is really handy, because you can, what's handy about this is, and you'll see here in just a second, because you can drop this into your water and get electrolytes and hydration, and you'll ask yourself, well, why do you need that? Well, you need that because you're going to be sweating your butt off, bugging out with your Pectin gear on with this stuff on if you had to. You're going to need to replace that somehow, those that you're sweating out of your body. So this is one way to do it. The other way, well, actually, you'll be asking yourself, how do we get that into you without taking the mask off? Well, that's a good point. So what you want to do is, when you get your masks, always get the option of the canteen that screws into the side of the mask, has a hose, so that way you can have this loaded with clean water, pack it on your belt, hook it up to your mask. Now you don't have to take your mask off, because there's a little straw in there that gets right up into your mouth there, and you can drink your water. And then if you run out, you'll want to wait till you get to a secure place that, say, is indoors, so that the fallout's not inside. And refill this at that time, and also make sure that the water, of course, is okay to do that with. So that's one other thing you'll want to have in the kit. And we're getting down to the last couple items. Of course, the gas mask needs its filters. These are NATO filters. They'll fit any of the NATO gas masks, whether it's French, Israeli, US, well, any of them. Italian. These will fit them. And you'll want to have a few of these in there. So if they have them in bulk, get them. And one other thing I promised I would tell you guys about is the Pectin. And you guys are asking yourself, yep, there it is. He said he would say that. Well, here it is, Pectin. What you use for canning, what you use as a thickening agent, also has a medical uses. And I'll tell you what they are. And I'm going to cheat because I got notes here. Medical uses. One, people can use it to help with high cholesterol, diabetes, stomach ulcers, diarrhea, right? Not something you want in a rubber suit. GERD. If you don't know what that is, lucky you. Skin flushing. It can help with that. Prostate cancer. Yep. Colon cancer. It's prostate cancer's little brother, or big brother, I should say. And heartburn, infections, some infections, and mouth or throat sores, ulcers, things like that. But the most important things that we want this Pectin for, and I suggest you look this up online, get your information down, write it down on a piece of paper, throw it into your kit, because you don't want to be trying to think that you're going to find it on your phone once the EMP pulse from that low yield, Boomba takes out the power. So the last things and why I have it in these kits is it helps with things like mercury and heavy metal toxicity, which in chemical situations, that also can be an issue, of which you'd want to use the full suit up for, depending on the chemical, whether it's a gas, a powder, spores, like an anthrax, that kind of thing. But the last thing is damage from radiation. This is also another binding agent of sorts, as well as it's a fiber of sorts. It will help to grab those radioactive molecules and dump them out in your urine quicker and without getting absorbed into your system as much. Now, nothing is foolproof, of course, but this is going to give you your best shot, and depending on how close you are to the impact. So that's what's in my kit. And we don't have to go through the whole other kit. I know I'm not going to torture you that much. I know you guys think I'm funny. You guys enjoy me. Some might even think I'm sexy. You should seek help for that. And, well, I'm going to get this put away for you. All right. Now, the reason I'm going to show you the second kit is because there are some people that are allergic to rubber, latex, carbamers that are in a lot of things, which are binding agents for a lot of things like rubber and latex. If that's the case, and this also goes for infants, if that's the case, then this is a kit like this that you want if you have young kids or have allergies like that to rubber, okay, or latex, etc. So the only difference really in this kit, same filter here, same Loctite thing here, but here on the top still got this, yep, the canteen, but you'll notice these masks are a little different. First off, my family member's mask, and I've got a few of the canisters in here for the filters, and I'll explain this so that I don't have to take it out, but I'll give you a good view of it. Okay, what this is it's a vinyl hood that goes over an adult, goes on their face, has a face area, has a hose that comes off of it, drapes all the way down, so you'll have your rubber suit on. Well, actually, in this case, it'll be the canvas one, because rubber, of course, the allergy. Or if it's not as serious a threat, you'll go with the Tyvek suit, etc. But what this is it's basically a big hood, almost like the same idea as a diving bell, but for air. And what you're going to do is you're going to get a positive air type of situation. So you'll put this hood on, drape it over you. It has straps that go between your legs that cinch it up, which are like reverse, what do you call them things? Well, you know, the things that hold your britches up. Yeah, suspenders. There you go. That was good. Thanks for that, Pinball. I knew you'd know what those are. Anyhow, you put those on, get it cinched down so it can't fall off, or if you fall upside down, it doesn't come off, that kind of thing. And it has a pump in here. Here's a little electric pump, so you want to make sure to have batteries in here and make sure to check them often. And you screw in the filter to the pump that goes on your belt of your suit, and that then draws air through the filter and pumps it into the hood, and it fills that hood up with filtered air and is always constantly pushing it out. So you'll want to be sure that this pump doesn't get damaged somehow, or that it's always running. So have extra batteries in there in case, depending on how long your trip is to your bug out location or your mag rally point, etc. So you'll want to make sure you have all the batteries to do that with, because you don't want this to stop, because once it stops, you no longer have that, positive airflow. So that's the kind of kit that I got for somebody in my family that is, well, allergic to rubbers and things like that. So that being said, for youngins and for small adults, so this will also fit small adults. And so I got it because in my kits, the reason I have more of them is because I always make something for somebody else just in case. For instance, I have just one of these that says miscellaneous or extra, and that is just in case family members or somebody else comes by. I can suit at least one of them, maybe two up, and protect them so that they can help their families. I do the same thing I try with my preps. I try to set aside at least 5-10%, depending on how, well, good the job situation is, which right now, not that great, but I make sure to set that aside so that people can come, just like what John was saying at Prepper Nation, is having that bucket. You can hand them. It's a hand up, not a hand out. And you can decide whether to say, hey, there you go. There's your help, be on your way. Or if you're going to stick around and you have value, I can put you to use. But we don't have enough here forever. So you've got to help produce. So that's the kind of idea there, just like what John was saying with his buckets. But in this is the same sort of kit, but it's just smaller. Now this could go on a small adult and it'd drape down probably only to right about there on your elbows, or maybe a little bit more. And it's the same sort of kit. It cinches down, has a positive airflow pump. There are filters, of course, in the bucket that will clip into it. It also, too, has a little hookup for a bottle, canteen. All of these do. That's important. So don't skimp on that. All of these masks, though, there wasn't a one of these that was over $100. Most of them were right around $50 to $70. Okay, so that's what's different about this kit. And I hope that helped you kind of think through the what if situation. Sure, is it possible this never happens and these never get used? Yep, but at least I can rest well, or as we like to say, rest in peace, knowing that we're prepared for anything that could happen. So, if you guys have any questions, you know what to do. Down in the comments, put them in there. Any ideas, anything I forgot, any tips you have, I love them. Put them down there and I will use them, and I'll address them if they're an idea or a question. Also, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And you'll notice I mentioned a couple other prepping channels in here. You want to make sure to go to those. They'll be in my description section as well. But go to them, check them out, because they have absolutely crucial information right now. Just like the CME and flare, that's a pretty good size one. Doesn't mean it's going to knock out power, but you're definitely probably going to see some sort of effects on internet, TV, that kind of thing, maybe your phone reception. So be sure to check those people out, support them, share, like, share, and subscribe. By the way, Skywatcher, you know who I'm talking about, Albany Skywatcher? You are the bomb. You share everything. You are a rock star. So are everybody else, though, because you all have just blown me up with emails and comments, and I'm loving every second of it. And I will get to each one of them. I promise you that. So, until next time, be safe, secure, and aware of your surroundings so that you're prepared for anything.